feels when people accept you, when you take that risk and you are vulnerable, but also how it's true. Sometimes you're vulnerable and people respond in a way where it feels like you maybe were an egg hoping to get dropped in a nice soft basket and you splatted on the floor, like no one got you. But for me, like the truth that I have grown into and cultivated through practice and like repetition is that the reality is I can only control how I respond to me. So the vulnerability has to be to serve myself. You might look a little silly. Maybe someone will judge you, but that's not my business. I can't control that. I can't do anything with it. All I can focus on is how I'll respond to me. And for me, I'm just going to kind of like, glance over in the mirror. We're going to do a little smile, a little giggle at each other, and we move on. I think the beauty of practicing vulnerability is that over time, it becomes the one that's easier. Like it becomes the path that's more well walked. And so in those moments where you're faced with kind of a decision, like, do I betray myself and do I not speak my need and do I not speak my truth and do I lie and say I'm comfortable when I'm not? When you're faced with that moment, you've walked your path of self-honesty so many times and of speaking your truth and of speaking it out loud and of disappointing other people and acting in a way that you understand that boundaries are your job and no one else's, period. That just becomes default mode. So when people ask in recovery is like, does it get easier? A lot of answers to that question. One of them is yes, absolutely, without a doubt, it gets easier.
One thing I would love to anchor this in is some type of practical step. How can it be implemented? How can vulnerability, like if someone were to shut this podcast off and take one thing away from this podcast, maybe it's like a tiny little practice that they can do to be vulnerable. I'd love to hear what you would offer someone.
I love that invitation. The first thing that's coming to my mind is if you go to a restaurant and someone asks you if you like your food and you don't, be vulnerable. And don't freaking lie to them. Don't tell them the food is good. You're paying for that. Be honest.
Yeah. A simple no. A simple no. Maybe this will be my tip. Being vulnerable can really lock up our nervous system. Like when I'm on the edge of something that makes me uncomfortable and I really want to speak my truth, I can start to feel like, gripping in my chest and my throat, and it can be really difficult to express. So my practice would be start with something simple. Do you like your food? If it's a no, just let it be a no. And if it's a yes, let it be a yes. If you haven't tried your food, I haven't tried my food. Keeping it simple will help you take that step, and taking that step over and over and over again helps you build that muscle.